Nation is live. Your day-to-day play-by-play back in Studio B, presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere. It is Tuesday, June 28th, wherever and however you have chosen to connect. It is great to have you with us. I am Spencer Linton, teamed up alongside a man who proudly features both of his ears in complete tact, Dave McCann.
Thank you. Great to be here. June 28th, 1997. I am ringside working for a TV station in Las Vegas when Mike Tyson bites Evander Holyfield's right ear right off and spits it down onto the canvas.
25 years ago, you witnessed that ringside.
And we could not believe it. We're sitting there going, did that just happen? And Holyfield's jumping up and down, and there's blood coming down his boxing glove, and Mike Tyson's disqualified, starts fighting with the police officers, people pouring into the ring. There are fights in the stands behind us. And I looked around, I go, this is, by far, the most bizarre professional night of my life. And it's withstood the test of time. We interviewed the guy who picked up part of the ear, took it to Valley Hospital. They tried to reattach it, and they couldn't do it. I interviewed Evander Holyfield years later in Atlanta, and it's still missing. His ear ends just right there. But he and Iron Mike are friends now. It's amazing what you can overcome in life. And but hard to believe 25 years ago tonight that happened. It just stunned the sports world.
How does that conversation go when they get together? Hey, remember that time that we were fighting each other and you bit my ear off? That was wild.
Well, I hadn't eaten that day. I was really hungry.
Yeah.
What a strange night. The great thing about sports is you just never know what's going to happen. A home run, a half-court shot, and ear biting. It grips us to the end.
There is a strict no-biting policy for today's show lineup, Dave.
Thank goodness.
So listen up with your good ear, everyone. What do BYU football fans care most about when it comes to quarterback prestige? Is it what they do at BYU, or is it what they do beyond in the NFL? You tell us. Yeah. And what do BYU fans want from Jimmer Fredette these days? He's back in the basketball tournament. He will join us live to discuss his ambitions and role with Floyd Mayweather, speaking of high-level boxers, and his money team in the basketball tournament. Don't forget Andrew Mickelson, 2 days removed from his knockout win in the MMA octagon. Is he just by default now the toughest kicker in BYU history?
Is Matt Payne going to call in?
Does Matt Payne have something to say about it? Payne versus Mikkelsen in the octagon?
I'd pay $5.
Bring on today's BYU Sports Nation headlines.
Mark Pope gets a guy he can look up to. Pope 6'10". He signs Noah Waterman at 6'11". Waterman comes from Detroit Mercy. He's listed as a guard/forward at 6'11" because he can shoot the three. Committed to St. Bonaventure there out of the portal earlier this month and decommitted and signed with BYU. Last year, 36 games at Detroit Mercy. He averaged 8 points, 4 rebounds, shot 43% from the field, 38% from three, 75% from the free throw line. Can he stretch the defense so Foose has less double teams?
2 years ago, he shot 53% from the three-point line.
Let's take that.
53% at 6'11". Yeah, absolutely we'll take that.
Bring that with you, Noah.
BYU quarterback Jaren Hall listed 9th overall in the Matt Miller mock draft. Miller claims Hall has big play ability stacked on a 6'1" frame and can produce with a whip-strong right arm or shifty mobility, referencing Hall's 20 touchdown passes to only 5 interceptions as an indicator of his accuracy and smart decision-making. Are we staring at another top 10 overall draft pick in quarterback Jaren Hall?
And how about maybe 2 in next year's draft if you throw in Blake Freeland?
Hey, BYU's only one time in the history of BYU football have they had 2 first-round draft picks.
That notion's not even coming from us. It's coming from the outside. We just report.
Indeed.
Big 12 appears to have their new commissioner, Brett Yormark, COO of Jay-Z's Rock Nation, and previously the co-CEO of Rock Nation Unified. It'd be an out-of-the-box hire. That's what everyone's saying today for the Big 12. Not a lot of college sports experience, but he does know his stuff. 14 years on the job as the CEO of Barclays Center, and that includes the Brooklyn Nets. And before that, he was with NASCAR for 6 years. We'll learn more about him, but that appears to be the way it's going.
Outside the box, to say the least, if that's the direction the Big 12 goes, which is what they said they wanted. They wanted a fresh start. They wanted somebody not necessarily tied to the traditions and long-standing ones of college football.
And someone who can't be pushed around when it comes to TV negotiations. Like, hey, I'm coming from the NBA. I'm not coming from the WAC.
And not just that, it's Jay-Z's rock group.
Yeah, throwing some free tickets. Be on ESPN every night.
I wouldn't mind that. BYU women's soccer legend Ashley Hatch and the United States women's national team take on Columbia tonight in Salt Lake City, specifically Sandy, at Rio Tinto Stadium. Here's Ashley Hatch.
It's a dream come true, and it's really cool to be able to come back, especially, having my first cap here and seeing how far I've come since then, and so I'm just really excited and happy to be here.
Hey, hometown hero of sorts, Ashley Hatch in her second go-around with the United States national women's team roster, and more importantly this time, competing for a spot on the World Cup roster. How incredible has the story arc and career arc of Ashley Hatch been to this point?
Will there be a BYU chant at Rio Tinto tonight?
Let's go. Let's make it happen, BYU
awesome.
fans. She gets on the pitch. She might start. She started the last match against Columbia in a 3-0 win. I wouldn't be surprised to see her run out in front of her home crowd. Her coaches know. The staff knows that she's
all she does is kick
BYU
goals.
Exactly. All she does is score goals.
Yeah.
All rise and shout. It's time for What's Trending.
You're talking about it, and so are we. It's What's Trending on BYU Sports Nation.
What's Trending presented by Bodyguards, protection for a life worth living. Learn more at bodyguards.com. We come to you with this question at the top of What's Trending, and it's something that we referenced in the show lineup teaser. Is it more important to you as a BYU fan that a BYU quarterback has great success during his college career while he's wearing the BYU uniform, or is it about what he does once he goes beyond into the National Football League? And BYU has a long story in both of those realms. Okay, we saw great success from Nilsson, Wilson, McMahon, Bosco, Young, okay, Ty Detmer, and then when you go into the modern era, John Beck, right. Max Hall, Taysom Hill, Zach Wilson, now Jaron Hall. Is it about what those guys do in a BYU uniform, or are we more about, oh, man, they won Super Bowl, Super Bowl MVP, Super Bowl champion. Look at what Zach Wilson's going to do. He's going to turn around the New York Jets potentially. Dave, what do you think? How would you answer the question? More important for BYU success or what these quarterbacks do in their professional careers?
I'm going to go with BYU success because that's where we are. That's what we're in. They'll always be judged by how they were here. We love that Steve Young was so dominant with the 49ers, and McMahon wins the Super Bowl with the Bears. They carry that with them, but we have them back. Like Jim was here the other day. We have them back because they played here. And when they were here, McMahon set over 70 NCAA records. He didn't do that with the Bears, but you go to Chicago, and he is the king of the city still. So I guess it's relative to your perspective, but I think it means more here than it does there. Steve Young, by the way, is the number one the number one all-time representative of BYU outside of
hard to argue that he's not.
Yeah. And he's done so much after football. But man, he was a lefty running around like crazy down at the stadium. That's what we remember, and then he went to the NFL and became famous. I think it starts here.
Sure. Yeah, both are good. That's the beautiful part about this question. Both matter. Both are important to BYU fans. But I feel like if we're discussing like legendary status of BYU guys, we care a lot about the prestige and the accolades they pick up while they're playing quarterback at BYU. The reason that the quarterback factory became a deal is because under Lavelle Edwards, all of these quarterbacks were winning prestigious awards.
Right.
While it was only Ty Detmer to win the Heisman, and McMahon was finishing third. You know, you interviewed him about that last week, and he's like, what the heck, man? How come I couldn't win it?
How did Ty win
it and I didn't? It's probably because Ty broke all of Jim McMahon's records.
They were all like second and third, it seemed.
Yeah, Steve Young finished second. Robbie Bosco was top 3. Mark Wilson was in that top 3 conversation. But they were winning the Davey O'Brien Award.
Sammy Baugh
Trophy. And again, yes, they were all first team or second team All-Americans. And sometimes consensus and sometimes multiple years, depending on the quarterback.
All those awards were reflective of their performance, which was reflective in the number of wins.
Yes.
And that's what we attach our memories to. Remember that one
BYU.
season we went 10-2 or this or that. But let's say this. You got Jaron Hall. You want Jaron Hall as a first-round, top 5 draft pick?
Yeah.
or would you rather see him in the top 5 Heisman voting?
That's an interesting question, because it's been since Ty Detmer was the quarterback at BYU that the Cougars legitimately had a top-tier Heisman candidate. Zach Wilson, by nature of the beast, because the schedule was what it was in 2020, and to his credit, he maximized that and got himself to the number 2 overall pick, highest pick in BYU football history. But the schedule just wasn't there for him to have enough noise to get into the top 5 or the top 3. Now, Jaren Hall is an interesting case because he's coming off a really good season, and he's the guy again, Dave. Zach Wilson's thing was a 1-year deal. Jaren Hall has an advantage in this because he's coming back with some prestige to BYU. And so already he's showing up as, number 9 overall, could go as high as number 6. We've seen in some draft projections. Most people have him now going at worst, early second round, late first round. Zach Wilson was entirely off the radar, Dave. Nobody had Zach Wilson getting drafted going into 2020. He was like, he's got incredible arm talent, but 11 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. He was injured. He's at best like an undrafted free agent. Then he goes all the way to the number 2 pick. Jaren Hall has an advantage against Zach Wilson in potentially getting some of these prestigious college awards because he comes back with hype.
And a schedule.
And a schedule that will only magnify that, right?
We kind of look at these quarterbacks like we look at rock bands. You know, all the greatest music was from the 80s. That's where all the great quarterbacks are. It's coincidence? I don't know. But a band puts out a new song that's pretty good, but it's not anywhere near to the classics for some reason. And they're like, we're the same band. We're singing songs. Why is it you'll listen to these songs over and over again, but you'll barely give these a sniff? These new quarterbacks today, when we say, well, where do we put Wilson? Where do we put Hall in comparison to Young, McMahon, Wilson, the greats? Yeah. And for some reason, they're not even on the same page. Even though one's the number 2 overall draft pick in the NFL, and the other one today projected as the number 9 overall pick. For some reason, we just attach greatness with our glory years, maybe our personal glory years, and then we just dismiss the other stuff. And I don't know why, but we do that all the time. And in this case, these guys, BYU, you throw in Zach and Jaren, they're 21-4 in their last 25 games. There's only 3 or 4 runs better than that in the history of BYU football. Is that great enough for their BYU legacy, or do they have to go to the NFL and win with the Jets before we go, Zach Wilson does belong with Steve Young, Jim McMahon, Robbie Bosco, Ty Detmer conversation? Sure. I don't know. Time will tell, but I just believe the college scene holds so much.
Sure. And listen, we're going to talk to Jimmer Fredette in about 5 minutes. Case in point with Jimmer. Everybody knew BYU because of Jimmer.
Right.
He did that. He changed the entire perspective of the nation because of what he was doing in a BYU uniform. So if BYU was playing, they knew we get to watch Jimmer. They attached him to BYU, and I think BYU fans, for one, specifically would love the nation to be like, I get to watch Jaren Hall play if I watch BYU. I would like to see Jaren Hall ascend to that level where it's like, I want to watch him play, so I got to find BYU so that they're kind of intermingled. Jimmer was that special, and I'd like that to happen again.
Jimmer is a rock star in BYU lore. Still is. Walks into arena, BYU fans who know him love him. Did Jimmer need a 7 to 8 year subpar NBA experience for BYU fans to love him anymore? I don't think so, because of what they saw while he was here, what they experienced, what they felt. That's why they love Jimmer. We would have loved to see him in the NBA.
Absolutely.
Did he need the NBA to justify his BYU stardom?
No.
Not if you lived.
No. And neither did Ty Detmer, Dave.
Yeah.
The Heisman Trophy winner, the guy that finally ascended that mountain, which McMahon and Young and Bosco and Wilson could not do. The guy that ascended, he is now associated with BYU football. Now, you say Ty Detmer, to just random people, random college football fans, they don't think, oh, Ty Detmer, the longtime backup and one-time starter with the Philadelphia Eagles. No, they think, oh, yeah, the guy that won the Heisman for BYU.
And beat Miami. Didn't he beat Miami? Yes, beat Miami.
Absolutely. Okay, our question of the day. You answer it. Both Dave and I feel like it resonates more if you do big things while you're in the BYU uniform, and then, hey, if it turns into an amazing college or pro career, fantastic.
Right.
Fantastic. Is it more important to you that a BYU quarterback has college success or NFL success? Let's hear from you, BYUSN, and Voice of the Nation.
This is
the voice of the nation, on BYU Sports Nation.
At Spencer Kenny Blake answers on Instagram. College. Trying to become a Jets fan, but it's an uphill battle.
It is for everyone.
I feel every BYU win from the depths of my soul.
Well said.
Katoom 150 answers on Instagram. Chicken or the egg? Well played.
Yeah.
Do we care more about what happens first or what comes second? Or do we even know what happens first? Yeah, I mean, in this instance, we know college comes first, but if you're amazing in the NFL, does that trump if your college career was just pretty good and not like legendary?
You know, Steve Young had a great college career. He had an awesome pro career. He was a better quarterback in the pros, won the Super Bowl MVP, but we love him because he played at BYU. I'll take that. Chicken or the egg.
Okay.
Come on.
Hashtag BYUSN Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to join that conversation.
Coming up, is BYU close to getting another quarterback drafted in the top 10?
Plus, as promised, Jimmer Fredette joins us live, how he got involved with the money team and why he's headed back to the basketball tournament. This is BYU Sports Nation.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by Bodyguards. Protection for a life worth living.
Dexter & Dexter is a full-service law firm offering a wide range of legal services. Since 1995, we have helped more than 20,000 Utahns both to navigate life's challenges and to make the most of life's opportunities. From personal injury to business law and from adoption to bankruptcy, we are passionate about shouldering your burdens. To learn more about scheduling a no-obligation consultation, visit dexterlaw.com.
My name is Spencer Finnegan. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. During my sophomore year, I got married to my sweetheart, Mary, and there's tons of unexpected expenses when it comes to marriage. We were looking for scholarships. I found the replenishment grant, and my local alumni chapter gave me a grant to help me focus in on school. I'm so excited to, now that I've graduated, give back to those students that are coming to BYU in the future.
Hi, Spencer Linton here, letting you know when your company joins the BYU team as a corporate partner, your brand can be featured in sports programming on BYU TV and BYU Radio. In addition to all of the great games, you can be part of the BYU coaches shows, place your message in Countdown to Kickoff, basketball pre- and post-game shows, and each weekday on BYU Sports Nation. We invite your team to join ours and become a corporate sponsor of BYU Athletics. For details, email sponsorship@byu.edu today.
This is your guys' song. You deserve...
Our goal, 50,000 books in the hands of children.
Okay, and I can help. Why do you do this? What do you get out of this?
It needs hope, and you need to show that little bit of love.
When you lay down your head. People come here one way, and they change while they're here. It was so great to be a part of it.
BYU Sports Nation is presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
BYU Sports Nation has its own YouTube channel. Get all the interviews by subscribing to and share the BYU Sports Nation YouTube channel.
We are live in Studio B. This is your day-to-day BYU Sports play-by-play. I'm Spencer Linton. To my left sits Dave McCann, and joining us now is the legendary BYU basketball star, a guy who has had a really nice professional career as well. In fact, it's continuing on in the basketball tournament coming up this summer. Jimmer Fredette joins us. Jimmer, great to have you back on the show.
Well, thanks for having me, guys. I always enjoy coming on.
Okay, so by default, because you just had your third child with your wife, Whitney, we need to ask you the basketball question, and I'm sure a billion people have asked you this, but have you settled into a zone defense, or are you still trying to play a little man-to-man?
Yeah, no, we're basically right now we're in a box and one. Whitney's got the baby, and I am kind of in zone with the other two, and so that's she's about man to man with that, and then I got the other two. So it's been good. I know how to play against the box and one. I've done it several times, so we're doing well.
Yeah, if there's anyone with experience in the box and one, it would be you. Let's talk about Floyd Mayweather. I covered him for years down in Las Vegas, and now you are partnering with him in this basketball team. How did that come together?
So back when I was playing with the Westchester Knicks, I played with a teammate named Jordan Crawford, and Jordan Crawford became a really great friend of mine. Some probably know who he is. He's, 5'6", 5'7" guard, lightning quick, really just awesome guy. And he was extremely close with Floyd. So he, kind of hung out with him and his group. And he would come to our games every once in a while, Floyd in Westchester and everything. So we got connected through him, and then he started his own team in the TBT tournament and asked me if I wanted to be a part of it this time. So, I was like, yeah, let's do it. We're attracted to great players, have a good squad. So I'm excited for it.
If you get in a fight with him, just remember that his jab is what he made all his money on. So protect yourself from the jab.
I will not be doing that. I will say that.
Jimmer, when you're approached about the basketball tournament and you had great success with Team Fredette, and that was a lot of fun for BYU fans and basketball fans in general to watch, what was appealing about it a second go-around? You'd done it, so why did you want to do it again?
Yeah. Well, at this point, it's just fun, honestly. It's a fun tournament. It's kind of like a AAU tournament for older guys. Kind of just show up with your flip-flops on. You don't have to go through anything. You just show up, warm up for 20 minutes, and then play the game, and you have some great group of guys you can get together, and your own group of guys that you go out there and play with. But also, I didn't play, basketball this season. So it's fun to be able to get out and play some competitive basketball in front of fans. And kind of just go out and do my thing. So I'm excited for it.
You're going to a workout right after this interview. As you take time off from basketball, and you have, as you mentioned, this year, how many shots do you have to get up before you feel like you've got your shot back?
I've continued to work out this whole time. I haven't stopped working out just because first of all, I just love it. I love going to the gym by myself and just working out in general. So it'll be something that I do for probably the rest of my life, as long as my knees hold up and everything. So, but it varies. As a professional, you kind of get into a groove of where you kind of figure it out on a day-to-day basis. Like some days you're like, I'm feeling good today. You don't maybe need as many shots. There's some days where you're not feeling as well, and you may need to get more shots up to get your rhythm. But for me, it's more about going game speed every day, making sure that you're, getting those games reps. And if you're doing that, then it's, you're going to be more successful when you get on the court.
Jimmer, we just watched Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors wrap up really a remarkable run back to NBA prominence. And without fail, basketball fans will be like, yeah, but did you see Jimmer at BYU? And we all talk about Steph, the way he shoots deep threes and whatnot. Do you feel like your timeline, if it had been a little bit more congruent with Steph Curry's, that things would have played out differently? Because a lot of people ask that, and I'm like, I don't know. Let's ask Jimmer. What do you think?
Well, Steph came into the league before I did, and so he was there earlier, but he wasn't able to be Steph for 5-6 years. It took him a little while before he actually got on the court where he was actually able to kind of shoot these shots and do this type of stuff. So, I feel obviously when I came into the league, it was a little bit more even, 10 or 11 years ago, a little bit more regimented of like, are you a point guard? Are you a two guard? They were trying to slot you into a different spot instead of now where everyone's just kind of a guard and there's multiple positions, you kind of interchangeable type deals, and they don't really care as much. They just want guys that can shoot the ball from range and kind of play multiple positions, handle it, play off the ball, that type of thing. I think, a couple years later probably would have benefited me, but at the same time, it just, sometimes things happen the way that they happen for a reason. And, I did the best I could and put out my effort and, did some great things and had some not great moments. And, you kind of just work through it.
Mark Pope just signed a 6'11" kid who shoots the three. At what point, Jimmer, did you see the transition from the fans appreciating a three-point shot more so than even a slam dunk?
Yeah. For sure. Probably my senior season. That was, something in 2011 where, if I dunked it, I think they would have enjoyed that a lot because I didn't dunk it often, but
hey, there's video evidence. We've seen it, Jimmer. Yeah. We've seen you do it.
Video evidence. There's absolutely video evidence, but I think the deep three was something that people were expecting. And once it happened, it's a crowd energizer for sure. And you could see that even with Steph in Golden State, whenever he makes a deep shot and goes on a run and it's kind of like a dagger type shot, the building just goes nuts. People love it. And, so I think it's because a lot of people can't do that, so they're like, I can't dunk it or I can't shoot that shot from deep. So it kind of has the same type of electricity when it goes through someone. So yeah, it was a lot of fun, but I think that season really changed it.
Jimmer Fredette is with us on BYU Sports Nation preparing for the basketball tournament. In fact, what's the timeline like for you as far as practices go and team chemistry and the build up to the tournament? What are the next few weeks like for you and Team Mayweather, the money team?
Yeah, we kind of just we got on a Zoom call the other day, kind of introduced everybody, kind of get in front of everyone. We've played against each other and with each other a lot with a lot of these guys. We're familiar with them and everything. And, there's not a lot of practice time before. You know what I mean? You may get there a couple of days early. Some people do have like a little training camp during the summer, but that, it kind of costs a lot of money. It depends on your sponsorship and all that stuff, depending on how you want to do it. So a lot of times it's a couple of days before, get a little practice in. But with these guys playing for so long professionally, you usually pick things up pretty quickly. You put in a few basic plays, and then you kind of know what other guys do, and then you kind of feel it out for the first half of the game. And then at that point, you're kind of just, on the go. And you figure it out pretty quickly when you played basketball for a long time.
64 teams in this field. How exactly does it work? And are we looking at August madness, or does it get into September madness for the Final Four and the winning team gets $1 million? How does the tournament format roll out?
Yeah, they do it pretty quickly. It goes basically through the month of July. So they'll have three different, different areas that people go to, or three different weekends with different areas people are in. Ours is in Dayton. We played July 24th, our first game, and actually the championship is on August 2nd. So, I mean, we would play basically like 10 days straight, that type of thing if we were to keep playing, whereas some play in the beginning of July and then they have to wait until that Final Four, type format that they have. So they kind of, spread it out, but they do that for, money purposes, to not have to pay so much, and spread it out too long. They try to cram it into a couple weekends.
Jimmer, you've had a very outstanding professional career. You've played in a number of leagues, a number of countries, and you've had peak performances in all of those. People can't help but wonder, okay, after the basketball tournament, because, we're sure you're going to do what you do, man. You're going to put on a show. People are going to take notice. What does the basketball road hold for you after the basketball tournament?
It's a great question. Honestly, I truly don't know at this point. I've played for, over 10 seasons at this point. I've had a great professional career, and I obviously feel well enough to be able to continue to play. But it's going to definitely take the right situation for me to go into. I'm not worried necessarily as much about the money of it or anything like that. I'm more concerned about lifestyle, family, being able to enjoy my time wherever it is that I go. So I'm going to probably wait my time and see what that situation is, and kind of figure it out at that point. But it's definitely more about fit and anything than money at this point.
You do seem to have a spark when it comes to teaching with your apps and TikToks and growing the game for a lot of kids all over the place. You enjoy that?
Yeah, I do. It was something I started a while back, and people really started to enjoy it. A lot of kids and parents would come up to me and be like, "I watch your videos all the time. Please keep doing them." So, I mean, it just kind of was, something natural for me. I was working out anyway, so I was like, just put up a camera and do some of these instructional videos. And that's something that I've done my entire life. One thing, for me was that I'm not the most gifted athletically. I wasn't the tallest, the longest, that type of person. So I had to work on my game a lot to get to the skill level to where I had to be. So I have a lot of knowledge of workouts and what I did to try to get better. And I just felt like it was something that I should probably do. And it's been well received.
Jimmer, when you look at your professional career, like I said, you've had some incredible moments. Like just the other day, I was watching you go nuts in Madison Square Garden. It popped up on my YouTube feed. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch Jimmer torch the Knicks with the Sacramento Kings because it's fun. Okay, that's an unforgettable moment in front of your family and friends in New York. Then you dropped 73 in the CBA, which was just wild and kind of went viral in the basketball world. What's your peak performance in your professional career? Like what has been your peak performance?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, I think probably the one game where I had 75 in China. So I was fortunate. I had three games where I scored over 70 in China, and so it happened 3 out of the 4 seasons, and like it just kind of happened all of a sudden. But that one game when I scored 75, that I only had 2 points in the first quarter. And so then the rest of the 3 quarters, I was able to, really score the basketball really well, the rest of that game. And, I just felt different that game. It was, I don't know, it was really weird. Like anytime you just shot the ball, it was going in. It didn't matter where. My teammates were getting me the ball everywhere, setting me screens everywhere. And it just kind of was one of those deals. But you usually don't feel better than after scoring a 70-point game.
Yeah. It's been 5 years. You dropped 75 points, which is just insane.
I've never had that feeling. I'm going to go my whole life and never have that feeling.
40 points in the fourth quarter. What is going through your mind as you reflect on that? Like, what's in your head?
Well, it was funny because we were down that game, and I was just trying to come back and win. And like I said, I was just starting to shoot the ball really well, and I saw like we were down over 10 points, and I was like, I got to start shooting some threes to try to get us back into it. And we started getting some turnovers, and I started getting transition threes, and we just played super fast pace that game. Like at the end of the second half, just every time either make or miss, we were transition screen into a shot, or whatever it was. So I was just, in a flow, and my teammates knew it, and they just got me the ball as best they could.
Hey, last question for you. Andrew Mickelsen's going to join us here in studio in a few minutes. Former BYU punter, now an MMA guy. You might have seen his highlights on YouTube.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm not fighting him either.
Well, our question is, if you were to join the MMA, which former teammate would you want to face in the octagon?
Oh, Jackson Emery. I want to knock him out. Absolutely. You kidding me?
Would you go for the body or the head, or how would you combat Jackson Emery?
I'd probably go. Well, yeah, he has a weak core for sure now, especially now. He's a little out of shape. Hopefully he's listening to this, but he has weak shins too. I'd probably go right after his shins. He'd probably just be down for the count.
It sounds like he wouldn't even pass the physical just to get in there, but
he might not. Yeah, no, he might not.
Fredette and Emery, that's something.
Yeah, that's a blockbuster.
That's
for
a
sure.
blockbuster.
Well, whether it's MMA or whatever you're going to pursue after basketball, Jimmer, we appreciate that you make time for us. And just know, if you're a coach or whatever it is you decide to do after basketball, there's always a spot for you here in Studio B and courtside at the Marriott Center if you want to analyze basketball. That is if you can, handle us and specifically handle Jerem Jordan, who conveniently is not here today.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. He definitely there's something going on there. I'll have to text him afterwards. But yeah, we'll do that. We'll have to do that one game this year and see how it goes. That'll be fun.
Love it. Thanks, Jimmer.
Okay, thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.
Jimmer Fredette on BYU Sports Nation, headed to the basketball tournament. Like you said, very quick turnaround. You play your first games on July 24th. They're wrapping that thing up first week of August, and so it is rapid-fire basketball. But it's so much fun just to be able to watch him compete again at, somewhat of a high level. It gets, some nice publicity, and it's easy to find on TV. Like, we can all watch this, so hey, opportunity knocks for BYU fans.
I'm just impressed. He doesn't know what questions we're going to ask him. He had Jackson Emery named in half a second as to who he'd like to see in the octagon.
Weak shins.
Going through his weak shins. Andrew Mickelsen's going to join us live here in studio. He wants no piece of Blaine Fowler, speaking of matchups. We'll find out why.
And we play Caption This with Jamal Williams. Have you seen the latest, greatest picture from the budding Detroit Lions star?
It's something else.
This is BYU Sports Nation.
Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork offers a large inventory of Ford vehicles, including a selection of cars and trucks, providing a range of transportation choices. From the Ford Fusion sedan and the Edge crossover SUV to a range of pickups including the F-150. Each product line comes with options to enhance performance, comfort, and safety. Think Ford, think Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork.
Welcome to a partnership where customer experience comes first. It's our focus. It's your expectation. We provide support to those that go the extra mile for all of us. Supplying products, training, and service for generations. Learn more at bradyindustries.com.
Summer is back, and that means BYU TV's Super Girls of Summer are too. And they're more super than ever. Brave, persistent, bold, and heroic. Be there for all the fun, the action, and the reactions.
Figured out how to make your world a better place.
I totally feel like Superwoman. Watch the Super Girls of Summer all season long on BYU TV or on the free app.
BYU Sports Nation is brought to you by Maersk, enabling global trade for a growing world.
This is BYU Sports Nation. To interact with the show and get great content throughout the day, follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok.
He is Dave. I am Spencer. Right now, let's whip it. The Cougar Whip Around, presented by Maersk, your integrated container logistics company, enabling global trade for a growing world.
ESPN's Matt Miller has Jaren Hall projected as his 9th pick in the 2023 NFL Draft. That's number 9 overall. What's the chance Jaren Hall is a top 10 draft pick?
Oh, man. Listen, if Jaren does what Matt Miller is projecting him to do, yeah, chances are high. But that's asking a lot against a really tough schedule. So if Jaren wins 10 or 11 games against that slate, yeah, mark me down for, hey, 80-90% he's going top 10. Right now, I feel confident that Jaren Hall is probably going to go where most people have him projected. That's late first round, early second round. I'd put all my stock there. But hey, if he does something special, Dave, let's say he's a top 5 Heisman candidate, BYU wins 10 games, why not be a top 10 pick?
He's got to go to Oregon. He's got Notre Dame in Vegas. He's got Arkansas here. He's got Stanford on the road. I'm missing somebody else. Who
it's okay. Arkansas?
Baylor.
Oh, Baylor, that's
Big 12
right.
champs
Revenge,
coming in.
Revenge
There's
game.
a schedule there where he can build a profile.
Yeah, here's the thing. 2 keys. Stay healthy, win a lot of games. That's your path to a top 10 pick.
That's your path to a job.
Yeah, it really is.
If you wonder, just ask Zach. Zach, how'd you do that?
It is being reported that the Big 12 is targeting Brett Yormark as the next commissioner of the league. We talked about this earlier. Yormark, 55 years old, the COO for Rock Nation, an entertainment agency founded by hip-hop artist Jay-Z. Do you like the idea of the Big 12 bringing in a quote-unquote entertainment guy and not a college guy?
By the way, 55 is the new 35. So I don't worry about that. College football is different now. You know, and we'll talk football, but obviously he's commissioner for all the sports. It's different now. It's entertainment driven. It's get my product in front of the most eyeballs all the time.
And get the most money while doing it.
And get the most money. And here comes a guy from the professional ranks, whether it's NASCAR or the NBA, to make those kind of deals. I like that out of the box. I like that out of the box because he can go get something different.
Sure.
We'll see.
When I first read the headline, I was like, man, I wish Bob Bowlesby were sticking around because I like Bob Bowlesby. I think Bob's done great things. But even Bob's like, I'm out. NCAA's got their hands in everything. I'm out. I like this because he doesn't really have a relationship with the NCAA folks. He'll come and just be like, no, we're doing it this way. Yeah. We're going to make a ton of money. I like his business mentality to help the Big 12 go and get a huge TV contract, maximize the potential money and the advertisers. And frankly, like you said, he wants eyeballs. Guess what, Brett? We at BYU TV would love to put Big 12 fans' eyeballs on as many sporting events as possible. So I like that too.
We got 69 million homes. I don't know if they're all watching this morning. They'd be smart if they were.
That's just nationwide, not to mention worldwide, Dave.
That's just nationwide. Which BYU Hoops transfer, Rudy Williams, Jackson Robinson, and Noah Waterman will have the biggest impact on the team this year?
It's going to be the point guard, Rudy Williams, by nature of him having the ball in his hand the most. And he's the guy that comes with the most experience, and BYU's most important position to fill in all of these roster gaps was the point guard. So I think it's going to be Rudy Williams by nature of what he will do with the basketball.
I think Waterman will have a big opportunity if he can shoot the three like he has, to open up things for Foose down low.
Okay.
As opposed to let's double team him and let those guys shoot, kind of like what defenses did all last season to our three-point shooters who couldn't hit shots. He could be a big key into change.
Okay. Hey, if he's shooting 53% from the three-point line, hard to argue with.
But I like your point because someone's got to get him the ball.
Yep. Jamal Williams, our good friend from the Detroit Lions.
Look at this.
J Swag Daddy posted this photo of himself yesterday with the following caption. This is how the kid who asks his mom's new boyfriend for $5 stands.
I like, this is how Eddie
He's a
Murphy's
gem.
stunt double in Coming to America 7 stands.
Jamal is just a gem. And you answered the question. How would you caption the photo? You went right to Eddie Murphy.
Yeah, he's got that smile going right there. That's Eddie Murphy playing for the Lions.
Here's how I would caption the photo. I can't wait for Hard Knocks because the Detroit Lions are going to be featured on HBO's Hard Knocks, and Jamal Williams is going to be the superstar of that preseason series.
Oh, yeah. That has to be the reason they're even going. How much would you have to get paid to let Mike Tyson bite part of your ear off? Think about it. It's a business decision.
I don't know, $10 million? I
think Holyfield got like $25 million.
Yeah, at least as much as Holyfield then.
That's the anniversary.
So it's a cash grab.
Great quote by Mike Tyson. Everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Amen. Nobody knows that better than a guy we're going to talk to in just a little bit, Andrew Mickelson.
A rise and shout out to the filling of the roster is straight ahead.
Yes, and as I said, Andrew Mickelson in Studio B. I think he's going to spend more time here with us than he did in the Octagon, right?
I hope so. That'd be a really short interview.
This is BYU Sports Nation.
Trio Orem Senior Living believes in empowering seniors to live life to the fullest. We help eliminate stress out of daily life when you live at Trio. Less time focusing on housework means you can socialize at one of our many events, with safety in mind, of course. And did we mention our spacious apartments with modern amenities? Learn more about setting up a private tour at trioorem.com.
BYU Food to Go's convenient location at 2191 North Canyon Road in Provo makes bringing popular BYU foods to your next event easy. Everything's ready when you need it at the drive and load pickup. You drive in and they load no matter the weather. And stop in the on-site creamery for great BYU chocolate milk and ice cream. BYU Food to Go, bringing campus to your table. Call for details, 801-422-5001.
Utah is a special place. Our communities, the people, the history. There is no place quite like Utah. At Siegfried and Jensen, we're honored to say that we are from Utah. We live here, work here, and when someone is injured, we're proud to say we've helped a neighbor when they've needed it most. We know Utah. At Siegfried and Jensen, we're here for you. Call us today.
There are things happening in Seaburg.
They care more about people spending money than they do about people getting sick.
If they're causing toxic pollution, it is everyone's fight. We can't just let them get away with it.
If anyone can figure this out, it's my brother.
Friends don't abandon each other. Fine. Be heroes.
I know what it's like to love someone so much you do anything for them.
Whatever happens, I'm glad we're facing it together.
Me too.
BYU Sports Nation is presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation. We're hanging out live in Studio B, and we're showing you that championship belt for good reason, Dave, because we've got a champion in the Octagon with us on BYU Sports Nation. Andrew Mickelson, roughly 60 hours removed from that big win in the Octagon. Thanks for coming in, man. Congratulations on a wild and celebratory weekend.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
There's a power to social media. Everyone's seen your 41 seconds of glory. Yeah. Are you surprised at how it's moved around so quickly?
Surprised is not the right word. It's like more than surprised. It's been crazy. So,
who's the most random person that's reached out to you to congratulate you?
I don't know about random, but I mean, friends and family that have come out of the woodwork that I haven't heard from in a couple of years are like, dude,
old cousins,
you're my hero now. It's like, okay, cool. Good to hear from you.
Well, Jimmer Fredette just said, that was amazing, right?
Yeah.
Jimmer saw your fight. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's next level. So explain what it feels like when you're in the octagon. It's you and the opponent and the referee, and the fight's about to start, and you look over at a guy who wants to knock you out. Now, you want to do the same to him, but you're looking at someone who's coming at you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, most of us go through life trying to avoid that feeling, and you're signing up for it. What's it like?
It's tough to describe. I couldn't really compare it to any other feeling, but it is similar to standing in the tunnel at Lavelle Edwards with a packed house, hearing everybody screaming. You get kind of the same butterflies. It's exciting. Yeah. And you just want to go out there and put on a show. So,
wow. 40-second knockout for you. I mean, incredibly impressive. Walk us through the road that took you to MMA, because you're a kicker at BYU. And, I mean, I remember having conversations with you on the sideline at different road games, whatever, and, you know, saying hi to Andrew. And now you're a few years removed from this, and you become this budding MMA star, if you will. How did you get to the point from kicking at BYU to 40-second knockout?
Yeah, man, it's been a wild ride. Honestly, focused on football, obviously, during my BYU days, but was always a big fan of the UFC and followed the sport pretty closely, was buying the pay-per-views, following my favorite fighters. And once my playing days were over at BYU, I was just working a 9-to-5, getting a dad bod, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this MMA stuff a try. I have a brother that has trained for several years. He's got a few fights under his belt, and he's had some good success. And he's here local, and we both decided to, hey, let's team up with a local gym here and get some training in. And then a few months later, I was begging the coach for a fight, and he said, yeah, I think you're ready. Let's tee up a fight for you. And that fight went well. It was another first-round finish. And then I've kind of had the bug ever since.
Yeah.
So,
are you 4-1 as a professional fighter?
3-1 as an amateur fighter.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, as an amateur fighter.
What was the one loss like? I mean, you know, we love handling success, but sometimes we learn more in a defeat.
Yeah, the loss was crazy. So, really short notice fight against a guy who was ranked in the top 5 in the country in the amateur ranks. Kid out of Arizona, really, really great wrestling pedigree. And I had been fighting mostly local Utah talent, other amateurs from the area. And my first couple fights were quick and obviously went my way. So kind of the next step was to kind of take it more national and find an opponent that had a little bit more recognition. And so definitely daunting and intimidating, but it was a good fight. Lost a decision, a little bit of controversy with the judges' scorecards. I personally feel like the judges got it right, but the dude was a high level wrestler. I went out with my striking and landed some significant damage on the dude, but at the end of the day, lost a close decision. So.
You were in on 177 kickoffs at BYU, which means you were in combat on special teams, so you got a chance to hit a lot of guys. For a kicker, which we go, well, kickers don't hit guys. You hit a lot of guys here. So did that football experience here kind of prep you a little bit? You weren't back there protected by everybody.
A little bit. I don't know. I'm a physical guy that kind of likes to get in there. So fortunately, Ed Lamb had some confidence in my abilities to go down and cover. So I have Ed to thank for that. He said, hey, man, don't play safety. If you want, run down there and make a play. We'd all go crazy for it. And so fortunately, had some opportunities to do that while I was here.
Well, with Ed in mind and having Blaine Fowler on the show yesterday, we were talking, like, they both got old man strength, right? Like Ed and Blaine both, like in their own right, have that old man strength. And Blaine yesterday was joking like, oh, yeah, I could last at least 3 rounds in the octagon with Andrew just based on my old man strength.
Let me just interject here. Blaine thinks the octagon is bigger than it is. If he thinks he could run and avoid you for a couple of rounds, there is zero truth to that. Zero truth.
But you said, very humble approach yesterday. You tweeted, I want no part of Blaine Fowler in the cage. Old man strength is real. I'm not trying to catch those hands.
Yeah. I don't want to mess with Blaine. I don't want to mess with Blaine.
He's got some guns. He's got some guns, but my money, my house, everything would be on you.
It's all on Andrew.
It would all be on you, Andrew. What current BYU special team guy do you think? Do you think Rico will have a chance in your world over there?
I think Rico could go do whatever he wanted. The dude's clearly a stud athlete.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's earning some respect for the specialists out there. So.
Hey, we're just happy to have you here, and congratulations.
Yeah, congrats, man.
Yeah, appreciate it.
By the way, how does your wife feel about all this? She cool with it?
She is not cool with it, but she is supportive because she knows I love it. Every single time I get in there and then the fight's over, she's like, "Great, that was a great one to end on."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see.
Just send her a lot of flowers. Send her a lot of flowers.
We got to get you on the Pat McAfee show, by the way. Okay, because he gave you a shout-out for the brand. He loves tough guy kickers and punters. We somehow got to get you on the Pat McAfee show.
I'm not going to say anything, but tune in today at
let's go!
approximately 2 p.m. Eastern.
Fantastic.
There may or may not be somebody on there that we recognize.
Your day started with a Jimmer endorsement, and then you got this. This is a good day for you. It's a Super Tuesday.
It's been a pretty crazy 48 hours.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, thanks for slumming it with us in Studio B.
No way, man. Thanks for having me. It's been a pleasure.
You got it. Thanks, Andrew.
Coming up, the top 5 plays of the independent era.
And a shout-out to finalizing a roster because it's been a long wait. This is BYU Sports Nation.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing.
Sometimes life is a mystery. Sometimes it's an adventure. And even when things don't go as planned, we can still have hope. We can still be brave. We can still show kindness. And even find a little bit of magic.
Every day, I help an animal walk again.
4 different vets told me that he would never be able to walk.
Here's his leg.
Oh my God, so
She wants to move, and this device is allowing her to do so.
I just knew he would walk.
Every single step, it's doing exactly what I want. You can see the trust. You can see the connection in her brain forming. Best is yet to come. It is. It's only gonna get sweeter.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics.
BYU Sports Nation is on demand. Download the BYU TV and BYU Radio apps or download the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Please subscribe, rate, and review.
Put up your dukes because we've reached that fabulous time of the week. It is Top 5 Tuesday presented by Delta Airlines. Keep climbing as we approach the final year of BYU football independence. We look back at all of the amazing plays we've seen during this independence era. Here are our top 5.
This is the best part of Tuesday. Number 5, Tyler Allgeier's punch-out from last year's Arizona State game, late in the 3rd quarter. Not sure where Hall was throwing it, but Allgeier bails him out, chases him down. Watch 25, knocks it free. There's Hall on the recovery. BYU goes on to win 27-17. That play right there.
Saved the game.
Got him the job with a Falcon.
Saved the game. Number 4, coming in as the Micah Miracle. 3rd down and long with 16 seconds left at Tennessee. Zach Wilson, 64-yard bomb to Mikkelsen. How does he get that open? I don't care. He was open. They made the play. Sets up Jake Oldroyd's game-tying field goal as time expired. The Cougs would eventually beat the Vols at Neyland Stadium in double overtime. Incredible play.
Unbelievable. At number 3, we go to Austin, Texas. And that's Taysom Hill. He's going 30 yards. You know what's going to happen here. The touchdown is the least significant of everything on the play. Whee! That right there is the one that has him at number 3. BYU goes to Austin in front of their full house and beat them 41-7. 99 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground for Taysom. And remember, he had a 68-yard touchdown called back on a questionable holding call.
You were field side for this, Dave.
Yeah. Lost 15 pounds watching that. It was 100 degrees and 90% humidity.
Worth it. Worth every second and pound of that misery and that heat to experience that play live. Number 2, BYU in desperation mode against Boise State. Down 3, it's 4th and 7. 35-yard prayer. Mitchell Juergens, where are you? There you are. Give me that Starman celebration as well. The Cougars' second game-winning Hail Mary pass in as many weeks.
Wild night.
Unbelievable night.
On the very next play, Kainakua took a pick 6 back to the end zone.
Love it.
So BYU ends winning, looks like going away.
35-24, right?
But all in a flash of a few seconds. And I'll tell you, LaVell Edwards Stadium was on fire.
Yeah, Mangum paid the price for that, too, on that play. But it was only preceded by number 1, Dave.
Here is number 1. It happened a week before. Mangum and his miracle rolling out. This is it. Cougars got to convert at the goal line to win the game. And Mitch Matthews is there. He told us on Media Day when he caught the ball, he wasn't sure he was in. But he looked over to the official, ruled it a touchdown. Bronco went nuts. BYU wins at 33-28. Blaine and I were just right there. You can see us on the other side of the end zone. And we, too, thought, was he in? Was he in? Then the call came, and those loyal BYU fans in that stadium went bananas. What a moment.
Unbelievable. Top 5 play all time at BYU and the top play in 11 seasons of independence. Will we see something good enough to crack the top 5 in the final year of BYU football's independence?
Me too. So.
Me too. Our elite voice of the day presented by Sundance Mountain Resort asking, is it more important to you that a BYU quarterback have success at BYU or in the NFL? At Clark N. Addison says simply, yes. Yeah, I know. You want both. You want both. But you got to pick one, Clark. So go online to do that. Today's Rise and Shout Out presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics.
How about Mark Pope?
Yeah.
The BYU Hoops roster is complete. 7 went out. 7 are coming in.
Yeah.
Very exciting to have basketball coming back.
Foose, Waterman, Robinson, Gideon George, Rudy Williams, maybe a starting 5. Okay. Our thanks to today's guest, Jimmer Fredette, Andrew Mickelson.
Conversation continues 24/7. Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. #BYUSN.
For Dave, I'm Spencer. Shout out to James Anderson.